Well, now joining me in the studio, I have lawyer and public affairs analyst Justice Ojieno, and also via Zoom, I have a security consultant and retired director of the Department of State Services, Dennis Amakri. Good to have you both on the show this evening. So let's begin with you, Justice. We understand that after 151 days now, and huge losses incurred, rail services have resumed between Abuja and Kaduna. But what are your thoughts now on the events that trailed the unfortunate terrorist attack?
It's very, very unfortunate, and it's very, very obvious too that there was, maybe I don't want to say breakdown of security or total unavailability of security with respect to those matters. And it was very, very obvious again that the person who was supposed to be running the affairs of the country so long as security is concerned wasn't really on top of his game. And of course, as I said, when matters like this come up, reference is made to what is on the desk of the American President Harry Truman, which says that the buck stops here. Everybody knows that we all have to turn back to the president, especially given the fact that he's the person that has the awesome powers as contained in Section 130 of our Constitution. And of course, that is with respect to security and with respect to policing. Provisions of Section 214 and 215 of our Constitution make it very, very clear too that policing is a federal matter. So if anything happens, whether in Kaduna, whether it's in Abuja, whether it is in any part of the country, it is the president that we must first call to say, what are you doing? And of course, it is now his own responsibility to ask or task or demand from the people that he has delegated such powers to give explanations on why, what happened. And it's very, very unfortunate, really, that Nigerians that didn't have a contribution, the Nigerians that were on that train that didn't have a contribution to whatever happened to them actually were made to suffer. Not just suffer deprivation of their liberty pursuant to Section 35 of our Constitution, but much more, they suffered deprivation of their property because a lot of them had to come up with ransom that they didn't even bargain for. A lot of them, yes, maybe some of them had the money, but some didn't have. But again, when matters is one that is one of life, anything that they really have to do, they have to actually do. So a lot of them have become impoverished as a result of that. So really, a lot can be said, and
yeah, point taken there.
It's quite unfortunate.
Let's quickly take the thoughts of Dennis Amakri on his view on this. So Dennis, we understand experts say the route remains unsafe unless there is, well, aerial surveillance and armed drone patrol. So but what more do you think authorities need to do to ensure safe travel for train passengers?
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if you can hear me very well, but let me try and answer what I heard from you. I know people are worried about the security of the railroad and even the passengers that are going to use it. But right now, I think the committee that was set up by the government, which includes the Chief of Defense Staff Office, IG Office, DSS, have come up with a report that had made it possible for the trains to move again. So for them to recommend that the train should move on again, I don't think people should be worried about it because these people have gone in, and then of course there are some reputational issues that are risk factors that they must have considered, and the trains are running again. So they are not going to tell you everything that they've done. I heard somebody saying that the other area is open and all the rest. No, we're not going to put it in a tunnel or whatever. But I think for the security recommendation, the rails are safe for now. for travelers to move around.
Great. So that justice, now for the train attack victims, they are demanding compensation from the federal government. Do you think they are justified by this? What do you make of this demand that they are making?
Okay, from the angle of the government has promised to actually do one or two things for them, I think that the government ought to. And I say it, of course, maybe comically from one governor that is being quoted recently that screams integrity, or says agreement is agreement. And I mean His Excellency Ezenwo-Wike. Because of that, maybe, but as per whether they are demanding or they are insisting, or whether it is enforceable or justifiable, yeah, just from the angle of appealing, yes. But if it is something that, okay, we can say, let's go to court to enforce it, you made such promises to us, or you are the reason why we are actually in this situation, it's going to be very, very hard. Because if any court or if any judge actually sanctions that and says, oh yes, so yeah, pay so compensation to these people, then every other person that has been wronged, by maybe every other person that has been kidnapped, or any other person that has faced something that is as a result of pure failure of government, that person will be able to have recourse to the courts. And I feel that will amount to the gates of hell being open. The government will not have the budget or the amount to be able to fulfill such liabilities.
That's a fine place to leave this discussion. Many thanks for your insights. Well, let's quickly go on a short break. You're still on the Newsweek. We have more discussions in just a moment. Stay with us.